Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. On this week's weekly gaming menu, we've got the weekly gaming releases, as well as what I'm going and playing this week as well. There are actually quite a few titles going and releasing this week, so let's get cooking and dive right in. This Tuesday sees a sizable number of titles going and releasing, mostly digital, with quite a few on the PlayStation family, as well as some for the Xbox and Xbox One as well. Of note to me personally, so first off, we've got 2009's Majesco's remake of A Boy and His Blob going and releasing for the PlayStation family, as well as the Xbox One. Then we also get Atelier Esca and Logi Plus for the Vita, and this one, unlike the other Atelier Plus titles that have come out, is getting a physical release, although it's a limited edition one that's just available from the Nippon Ichi America store. So if you're interested in that, then that's where you should go and pick up a physical of this particular game. Unfortunately, Atelier Esca and Logi is one of the ones that's on my backlog still, as I haven't finished up Aisha, so I'm really far behind as far as the Atelier games are concerned, but I do hope to go and get caught up at some point, hopefully this year. There's also the Japanese indie hack and slash title Kurokururu Sigma going and releasing on the PlayStation 4 in America. It went released on the PlayStation 4 in Japan a couple weeks ago, so it's nice that there wasn't much lag between that and the localization, as this one's been available on the PC in both Japanese and English for a while. It might be one that I go and get around to checking out. There's also the highly acclaimed Dark Cloud 2 from PlayStation 2 going in and releasing on the PlayStation 4. There's the really interesting B sci-fi movie inspired action title from Atlas USA, Deadly Tower of Monsters. So if you're into that kind of campy old school sci-fi, maybe that might be a fun one to go and look out for. It definitely has an interesting aesthetic to it, at the very least. There's also a couple titles that have been released on other platforms previously that are going and releasing on the PlayStation 4, some shoot 'em up ones. There's Tachyon Project, which is a twin stick shooter that's been available previously for the PC as well as the Xbox One, and then Stardust Vanguard, which is a kind of a 4-player battler brawler that you can go and be versus co-op where you're these mechas. So it's got some shoot 'em up as well as a little bit of RTS to it as well. And that was what we go and have on the first half of the week. Going and moving to later in the week, there are actually quite a few titles that I'm very excited about going and releasing in Japan, but most of them, at least, I'm assuming will go and get localized, so I'm going to be holding off. But on Thursday in Japan, we go and get the release of Hyrule Warriors Legend, which goes and adds new characters to the Hyrule Warriors. So you've got the female Linkle, as well as fan favorites Toon Link and Tetra and King, all from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. In addition to that, there's also the Mabudavu and Mabudavu Alternative visual novels going and releasing on the Vita. I'm assuming this is kind of a precursor to the English localization that should be coming out later this year. I did go and kickstart that project for the Vita physical, so I'm really looking forward to going and getting my copy, though I know they're months out. But there's that. And then the one that I'm really excited about that's going and releasing in Japan this week is Ryuga Gotoku Kiwami, or as it's known in English, Yakuza Kiwami. This one hasn't been announced for localization yet, but with Yakuza 5 going to having just come out and Yakuza 0 having been announced for the PlayStation 4, I'm really hopeful that we go and get this remake of the original Yakuza title localized for the English territories as well. And then on Friday, we go and get the cross-up title of Mario & Luigi and Paper Mario, Mario & Luigi Paper Jam for the 3DS. So it's awesome that we're actually finally getting back to the point where a lot of titles are going and being released each week. It goes and gives so much to get excited about, even if you don't go and pick up anything. And as far as this week's concerned, there are a lot of titles I'm interested in, but no solid picks. So I might go and be trying out some here and there, but I don't have any solid recommendations for me myself. But what's on my gaming menu? So I'm still going to working my way through Code Realize. I'm currently on Van Helsing's route, and it is awesome. He is by far the coolest, most well, badass character out of the whole lineup, or at least so far, that's been my feeling on it. In addition to that, I'm going and playing Yakuza 5, and I'm having a blast with it. I spent all weekend going and enjoying my life as an idol. So that might not necessarily go and be what you'd expect from Yakuza 5, but it definitely goes and adds so much to it. You know, first off, I was an awesome taxi driver, then I was going and fighting bears barehanded. Yeah, with, you know, bare hands. And now I'm going and living my life as an idol. Definitely a lot of unexpected and just awesome that's present in there. Yakuza 5 is definitely an incredible title. If you haven't checked out the Yakuza series, maybe that might not be the best place to go and start, but I really recommend that you go and give those Yakuza titles a try. And then I also went and picked up for the Wii U one that I've been interested in since it's released, Fast Racing Neo. And I've got to go and say, from the little bit that I have gone and played the title, if you're a fan of other anti-grav racers along the lines of Wipeout and F-Zero, you've got to go and give this one a try. It's so much a spiritual successor to those titles that we might not ever see again. It's definitely worth your time to go and pick it up. And it's a really good price point too. So that's what's on my gaming menu for this week. What's on your gaming menu for this week? Are you going and picking up any of this week's recent digital titles or any one of the recent ones? Or are you still going and playing some titles from last year? There's definitely a lot of awesome just right around the corner. Almost too much, really. It kind of goes and makes me a little bit afraid of just how much awesome is going and coming up. Within the next few weeks, there's Final Fantasy Explorers that goes and drops next week that I'm going and looking forward to. After the week after that, there's Digimon Cyber Sleuth Stories that I'm planning on going and picking up, and then 2 weeks after that, we've got Fire Emblem Fates. How am I going to go and have enough time to get any of these played? But still, that aside, gaming, it's a wonderful time for it, and if you're into, well, there's plenty of titles for no matter what you're into. So, like, let me know what you're going and playing or what you're planning on going and picking up in the immediate future. I'd love to go and hear from you. That said, thank you so much for going and joining me for this week's weekly gaming menu, and I hope to go and see you again next week.